So remember when you were saved by Allah from the Pharaoh. Remember when you thought you had no way out and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a way out for you. The second opinion of the Mufassirun is that this is referring to the opposite, actually, which are great events in human history that involve punishment or catastrophe. And so a reminder that those days of hardship could come upon you as well, that retribution is cyclical, that all of these things that have happened in the past could happen to you as well. Remember the great floods, remember the great tragedies that befell a people that disobeyed Allah, or that did horrible things and transgressed. And so how do you combine the two, at least for the sake of benefit? I'll say that, by the way, from the first opinion, because there's a narration that appears to have enough authenticity and it matches the next ayah, is probably the stronger one, but to at least extract benefit, inshallah ta'ala, from both interpretations. The days of Allah. How many times were you in a situation that you can look back upon and you thought that there was no way you were going to get out of the difficulty that you were in? You were in a tough episode and you thought that you're not going to make it past that episode. You were in some sort of great difficulty. You faced a hurdle in life and you thought that hurdle was going to permanently paralyze you so that you would not be able to move forward. And you called upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Allah made a way out for you. It's important for us to go back and to look at those moments. And maybe in those days, there are days that happened in our lives or things that happen in our days of our lives that we did not attribute the relief to Allah. We attribute the hardship to Allah, but we didn't attribute the relief to Allah, which is ingratitude with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember Zakaria alayhi salam, as he called upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he mentions, وَلَمْ أَكُنْ بِدُعَائِكَ رَبِّ شَقِيًّا. I've never asked you for anything, O Allah, and felt empty-handed, felt disappointed. You've never left me amongst the wretched as a result of calling upon you. فَسَأَلَ الَّذِي أَحْسَنَ سَابِقًا أَنْ يُتِمَّ إِحْسَانَهُ لاحقا. As one of the great Imams said, that he asked Allah, who was generous with him in the past, to be generous with him in the future, as he called upon Allah and was blessed with Yahya alayhi salam, John, peace be upon him, as a son, even in his old age. So it's important for us to reflect and to remember the times that Allah saved us, to remember the times that we overcame a very difficult situation, to remember how we barely passed, how, we barely escaped this hardship, or how this one, twist in our lives, in our favor, allowed us to get to a place that we are. Because sometimes people that are highly blessed and highly privileged forget the source of their blessings and then forget how humble they were when they were asking for those blessings. And so now when they have it easy, they turn back on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So ayyamillah, to go back and to remember those days and those blessings and those things that Allah has given you, right? The times where you thought that you were going to drown, the times that you thought that things were over for you and that you had no way out, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a way out for you. That is a profound means of granting sabr and shukr, right? لِكُلِّ صَبَّارٍ shakur. A person who is patient, who is extremely patient and steadfast because they know that Allah will get them through it again, and a person who's grateful for the blessings of the past, which allow them to contextualize properly the present and the future. Okay? So that's the primary, I think, way of reflecting on this ayah. But the second one are episodes of human history. How many arrogant nations thought that they would be able to remain in a place of power, but everything was taken away from them? How many tyrants thought they were invincible, only to be drowned like the Fir'aun, not in the exact manner, but in a way in which they lost everything? How many times were there people that thought that they would not be given victory, that they were completely defeated, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them victory, right? أَمْ حَسِبْتُمْ أَن تَدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةَ وَلَمَّا يَأْتِكُمْ مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ خَلَوْا مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ مَسَّتْهُمُ الْبَأْسَاءُ وَالضَّرَّاءُ وَزُلْزِلُوا. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions these people that came before you that went through extreme hardship. I talked about Khabbab ibn al-Arat radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when he came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he said to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Ala tad'u Allah, or ala tad'u lana, wa tastansir lana." Aren't you going to pray to Allah for us? And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioning a people that came before and what they went through, right? How they were sawed into two for saying La ilaha illallah.